person says, "Hello, John. Living out here in the forest, I spend a lot of time alone with my thoughts. Sometimes the voice inside is too hard on me, always criticizing and never satisfied. How do you deal with that kind of self-criticism without letting it take over? I want to be honest with myself, but not so tough that I lose my peace." Well, yeah, self-criticism is hard because as this person says, you don't want to just kind of go, "Oh, everything I do is lovely, and all criticism is bad," because you're in the process of becoming more conscious, and you're in the process of turning your own consciousness into consciousness. So that requires you to kind of be discerning and to look at everything. But we are very predisposed to giving ourselves a really hard time, to really beating ourselves up. So one of the things you really notice in meditation is you start to hear these voices. I've been meditating for, 30 plus years, and I am still shocked by the vitriol I hear myself thinking about myself. I'm shocked at the sort of lack of love in it and the contempt, and I like myself. I like myself quite a lot. And yet it's still there. So it's a delicate balance. It's almost reminds me of the way we talk about shadow work and being willing to look into your shadow to really be able to hear how despicable you think you are, or the different voices on the inside are about you. It requires a lot of distance. It requires a lot of not taking it personally, because there's no point in arguing with them because you won't win. They'll just recede back into the darkness and wait until you make a mistake, in inverted commas, mistake again, and then they'll come out with all the vengeance, of like, what did you do that for? What did you say that for? Why did you, do that stupid thing? And then all the vitriol comes out. So it's a delicate balance, but I think you can kind of, if you start off with being as in tune as you can with your own sweet nature, because it's not in our nature, it's not in my nature, and I'm sure it's not in yours either, to be cruel, to be unkind. But we sort of save up the most cruelty and the most unkindness for ourselves. So it can be a little bit like, if you sort of get very upset with something, like get angry with an animal, and maybe you might shout at it, or you might do something, and then almost immediately you feel bad. It's kind of the same. It's trying to be able to feel that feeling of there's something off. I can hear this very harsh voice criticizing me on the inside, but underneath it, it doesn't feel right. So let me get a little bit of distance so that I can hear it. I can hear that part, and it has to have its say, because you're trying to get it to come out of the dark, and the only way it comes out of the dark is through communication. And unfortunately, the beginning communication is always awful. It's always the worst, and it's very hard to hear, but it's the way to get it out. So there's no simple answer to it. There's no like, oh, here, all you have to do is, but it's very possible, and it's very important. So you have to sort of tread lightly with it, listen, try and not get too hurt by it. Definitely don't believe it, because these are parts that have been telling us this for years, since we were little children, and they don't really know what they're talking about. They think they do, but they don't really. So you have to let them come out so that they can tell you their sad story. They can tell you how awful you are, and you can listen to it, because it's not you. Because if you're listening to it, well, it's not you. So it's a delicate balance. It requires a lot of kindness, a lot of compassion, but it's very worthwhile. You really do have to do it.